Hey guys, I'm here. Welcome back for episode 6 of season 2 of Arcane. This is our final episode of Act 2. And these last 2 episodes that have got us to this point have been absolutely, one, wild and emotional. Especially that reunion at the end of the last episode. All that contrasted by Jayce's return from wherever he blinked off to. You know, Heimerdinger and Ekko are still MIA, but he has come back with a mission to eradicate Hextech from existence. Whatever he saw on the other side of that gate or wherever he went has completely 180'd him on his original stance, and he freaking deleted that council member who's become a devout follower of Viktor's, who's been healed by him, and even Viktor being able to commune through him without having to be there. Like they are part of some hive. It's wild. It's so counter to everything else that's going on in the show at the moment. I don't know how all these different pieces are going to come together. You know, this Viktor and Jayce storyline, Mel being kidnapped and being interrogated and poked and prodded at by this secret organization that is hunting her mother. Meanwhile, we got the main conflict, which appears to be, or one would think was the conflict between Piltover and the Undercity, which at this point feels like there's maybe some bigger things going on at the moment. I don't know. The only thing we can do is move forward and see what we find out. So that's what we're going to do. If you want to see the full-length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you're a member of the channel, get you access as well. It is a watch-along format, so you will need your own footage to sync up the time codes for actually the entire episode. Over there, you get the same thing for all the other shows and movies that we cover on the channel. You also could suggest and vote on movies to react to each month. It's just a great way to support the channel, help us do the things we do over here. But at the end of the day, I really appreciate and enjoy this reaction. To at least leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already, because it really helps these videos out. And with that all said out of the way, let's go ahead and hop into episode 6, The Message Hidden Within the Pattern. Here we go. Oh, whoa. Are we inside of it? Or what? God, it's so eerily beautiful though, isn't it? Just everything about the art direction of the show is magnificent.
I see it now. I can't let you leave. I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry too.
Oh, so that's what, from Viktor's point of view, looks like when he's doing this. That's insane.
That isn't Jayce. But there is another will at work within him.
I thought I heard something just before the portal closed. Ancient, like a...
Wait,
voice.
what?
This is a sophisticated
Whoa.
conjuration. A singularity simultaneously self-replicating and self-annihilating.
We've never seen complexity like this.
Chaos.
Well, that vaguely answers my question from last episode about the consciousnesses that he kind of, well, I don't want to say consumes because it's not exactly what he's doing, but the Sky situation, it does seem like she is in there, or it's a construct created by his entanglement with the core from his own memories. It's hard to decipher which is which, but from what we saw with him and the councilman, it's very likely she's in there in some way, living on. But he says like something is acting through Jayce. They heard something ancient call out when he came through the portal. I mean, that could be from his point of view, since Jayce is also on a mission to take him out and stop whatever he's doing. So who should we be rooting for? Really, though, in the end, I don't know.
This form is your base, child. Your eyes see what others don't. Might. Bending your environment to your will. Your speed is improving. But eventually, you need force.
Too much force exposes you to risk.
Indeed. remember this, Caitlyn.
Oh.
Tunnels in your eyes, lava in your veins, shadows in your heart.
I like that.
I've discovered a fourth principle. One that heightens all others. Sacrifice.
I don't agree with that. I liked what she was saying about everything else, you know. Tunnel in the eyes, lava in the heart. Or no, what was it? It was shadow in the heart to keep your heart safe, right? Not let anybody know you. Not let anybody in. To keep your eyes focused on the goal. And lava, I think, was the body or something like that. I can't remember. Keep yourself hot, warm, ready to go. Oh, they're bringing Vander here.
All are welcome. But I must ask you to surrender your weapons. This is a place of peace.
Okay. Oh, what was that? The hex core powering her gauntlets was fading or flickering.
The Herald's vision.
Wow. You don't get without giving with the Arcane, man. What is the cost of all this going to be in the end?
Come. He's expecting you.
They're like, don't worry, there's no need to hide him here. Poor Vander, man. Dude. Look at him.
We hear you can heal people.
Oh. Oh, whoa. Oh. Maybe he's just too far gone to reach.
You once told me all systems have limits.
He is worth the risk.
So he's putting himself on the line to try to help him.
Vander's psyche is deeply entangled with that of the beast.
How did you know his name?
He told me.
Ask for a miracle healer. Get a metal fortune cookie.
I saw your father. His dream of your family and vision of Zone as it could have been, it was beautiful.
A cookie.
Can you help him?
I will do all in my power. However, I have one condition.
Looks like you got a couple.
You have much to offer at this commune, Paladin.
Oh. Oh.
Your talents can be used to build instead of destroy.
I'll stick with what I know. Thanks.
My condition is that he must be restrained at night. I've seen the harm of which he is capable.
What do you think?
You actually want my opinion?
He's your father too.
I hate fortune cookies.
We're gonna get you out of there, Vander.
God, there's birds here too, and fruit, and good God. Again, what's the trade? What is Jayce afraid of? What did he see? What did he learn? Or, like Viktor said, is something working through him? Oh, whoa. I like how visually it's the same sort of corruption, or not corruption, I guess. I don't know at this point, but entanglings as what we see with the hex plane. That might just be because that's what we're using to travel his mind. Aww. Fuck, man. Oh, and their dad. Aww. I'm worried about what's gonna happen though once the memories catch up to the tragedy of it all. Oh, right. This was where that structure was.
Do you remember them?
I remember Mom's smell the most.
Axel grease.
This place. Do you think it could actually work?
Underground utopia run by a skinny tin machine herald. Maybe when Piltover slides into the sump.
What if we stayed? Help them out?
Aww. Oh my god. It's gonna build up to what I was talking about, man. This storyline, Singed, Caitlyn, Ambessa, it's gonna lead them straight to them. She's gonna see them working together and it's just going to set everything ablaze. Shit, they're already here.
No weapons. I'm afraid the Herald insists.
Wow, this is familiar, isn't it?
If I may, I believe this herald may be a former pupil of mine, a man of science.
Well.
Let me speak with him.
Wow, he automatically knew it was Viktor. That's interesting.
Ready our forces for tonight. I should like to meet this herald.
You know, diplomacy isn't, bad. You can try talking. Respecting their requests. I'm so worried about Vander's untangling being interrupted and what that's gonna be.
Your decline. Your power is finite. Used by every use.
I've been expecting you, Doctor.
What I wouldn't give to glimpse the world through your eyes. To know what you know.
Oh.
The only warmth. A dream of her wants.
Knowledge is a paradox. The more one understands, the more one realizes the vastness of his ignorance.
Marvelous specimen.
Yeah.
Isn't he? The regenerative qualities of his blood will stabilize you. Apex Shimmer combined with you. The apex form of Hextech.
What you're suggesting would destroy him. And for what?
To complete your work. To save us from ourselves. You must survive, Viktor.
Do you believe in fate, Doctor?
He sees Vander as Singe sees Vander, a means to save his daughter.
Evolution has a destination, not to combat nature, but to supersede it. The final, glorious evolution. But he isn't a specimen. He's a man, and he needs my help. I will not sacrifice his humanity for your cause. You may leave.
Very well. But I assume you understand already. If you perish, this community is soon to follow.
Uh-oh. Oh, they left their spear here, but they weren't staying at the outskirts, but... Are you kidding me? She's just fucking waiting. God, that training's paying off.
You can't be here.
You're like where I landed when this rich, unhinged mongoose just tackled me.
Mongoose.
Aw.
Your hair. You look like an angry oil slick.
Don't sugarcoat it, cupcake.
You see her eyes light up when she said that. Or break, whichever. Take your pick. Maybe both.
Out there. We tracked some sort of new chem weapon down here. A bloodthirsty, murderous beast. What are you doing here?
Trying to save my dad.
Oh shit.
Viktor believes he can save the man inside the beast. If he succeeds, I'm afraid the creature's usefulness will be lost to us.
Then we'll have to force his hand.
Wow,
Believe I
fuck
can craft a
you.
serum that will prohibit Viktor's success.
It's fine.
Oh! Uh-oh. Everything is converging. Well, this was what I was asking about. I was like, I don't know how all these threads come together, but here they
For
come.
happy reunions.
Well done, Caitlyn.
The Mel thing is still off on its own for now. But if we wrap this up here, that just leaves that. Because this is all to that end, to help navigate Ambessa's ability to combat this force that they aren't even aware of.
It's time.
Oh. Oh no. Oh. Fuck. It's gonna send him into a rage or a bloodlust.
I knew you could get it.
Oh, went to retrieve her gun.
Had some time to think lately. Ever since you dropped into my life, it's like I put on glasses. Except I can't tell whether everything's blurry or clear. Wanna hear a dumb joke? A sentimental ex-con, a giant furball, and two of Piltover's most wanted walk into a weird cult.
Oh no. Guys.
Here comes the punchline.
Oh.
Vi, you've been quite a curiosity. When you captured Caitlyn's heart, I owe you thanks. Your absence provided a vacuum I was able to fill.
Oh, fuck
In
you.
other circumstances, I might have offered you a position in my organization. Your resilience is undeniable.
I hope there's a play
Of course, that won't be
after that
possible.
conversation with Caitlyn, and this is a ruse, a performance.
Caitlyn must not be distracted.
I'm putting my money on her.
She's not distracted. You know, my
Please.
father taught me about trust. He told me if I wanted it, there were only 3 things I needed to do. Be honest, even if it means telling a self-righteous windbag that her breath smells like a cesspool. Be patient. Still haven't quite cracked that one, but being tied up sure helps.
And the third?
Just shut the fuck
Oh, oh, please, let's go. Yes!
Fissures are blocked by guard towers. Patrols circle the comm unit even.
Yes!
Personal guard are posted here, here, and here. They aren't expecting trouble at home. With flawless timing and luck and
a big distraction.
Let's go. Ooh. Yeah, I gotta make it look good, gotta sell it.
don't underestimate Ambessa.
Yo!
Oh! I have a plan. You're not gonna like it.
Oh, that's what. That's what they're waiting on. They're stopping Singed. Who's she gonna shoot? What's Jinx gonna do?
I hope I was worth your time.
Wow. Let's fucking go. But we still got fucking Jayce and his murder hammer to worry about. And I don't know if he's right or if he's working for something. Oh God, he sees them as like these twisted, mangled forms. Did I see that right? Yeah. Oh. I don't know what to fucking believe anymore, man. But I'm worried about the blood drip. Like, is Vander still gonna go into a fit? What did he see? I hope we get an episode or at least a segment showing what he experienced when he disappeared. Because we're still missing such I feel like a pretty significant piece of the puzzle, which I think is obviously intentional to keep us on our toes, but wow. Just look at that, man. That is just beautiful. Oh.
Vann sent me. I'm going to get you out of here.
Shit. Rictus? Oh, he's in the middle of it still right now. Yeah.
Your death
Jinx!
will be a deep cut.
Yes! Let's go. Fuck him up. Ooh, no! Not the hair! God, I love the flicker when she does that, man. God, fuck those runes. God! Dude. You all know I love super speed. Fuck! Okay, maybe cutting the hair wouldn't have been a bad idea, but it's just such good hair. Yes! Oh, I thought it was Vi and her gauntlets, but no. Daddy's awake. Yeah! I just fucking spit all over myself, dude. Jesus. Oh, dude, he fucked him up. One good swing. Yeah, this is where it's going to get complicated because I wonder if she mentioned Jinx. Oh, even his bracelet's losing energy. Shh. Oh, Jayce is gonna fucking ruin this. No. Wow. That's what we were seeing before. He probably knew that was coming then. Wow. And they... Oh, it's like mechanical almost. Seeing these three together is tripping me out. But what is happening to them? Do they go down with the mothership or what? Fuck. No. Oh. Woo. Oh, what if that completely erased him from it? Because he was in the middle of working on him still. I think he's gone. Yeah, kill this dude. Oh. Oh, he killed that dude. Fuck you, dude.
I understand now the message hidden within the pattern, the reason for our failures in the commune. The doctor was right. It's inescapable.
Wow.
Humanity, our very essence, our emotions, rage, compassion, hate, the two sides of the same coin, inextricably bound.
No, he's gone now. Wow, just to bring him back, just to rip us apart again. Wow. What a little badass, man. Oh no, though. What is she?
That which inspires us to our greatest good is also the cause of our greatest evil.
我这样就很好。
Fuck. Damn it, man. That sucks so much, man. There was so much hope on the horizon. There was so much hope on the horizon, but the second things started to get too good, you have to know it's about to unravel, but I didn't know to what degree. I can't. The Vander stuff, it's just so cruel. It's just so cruel. And then to add Isha on top of that, you know, protecting her family, protecting Jinx, and sacrificing herself. And it's not that she didn't know what she was doing. She knew exactly what she was doing. He doesn't say what it is. He talks about our emotions, how these things drive us. And I think it just ties back to what I was talking about before and how love can be a double-edged sword, you know, for one thing or another. Like for Ambessa, she's doing all of this, one, out of her love of her family that led her to revenge for what happened to her son and to protecting her daughter at any and all costs. And that's why she's doing what she's doing. You know, and Mel's been taken by this organization And the only reason Ambessa is doing any of this is to end that threat, cease that threat to her and her family. You know, everything led us here out of all of this, like the way that Javai was even able to supersede things that Jinx had done in her past over their shared love for Vander. And also just seeing how this relationship, this connection to Isha herself allowed Jinx to finally find herself. And I think that's another beautiful way of even talking about being a parent. It's like she finally, for the first time in her life, put on glasses. So it's like you're seeing the world even more clear than you ever have. But because of that, other things are a little less clear on how you should approach these situations. Like her outlook in this way to this awakening also kind of confused her. And that's just the nature of being what I presume a parent would be like itself, where like if you have this connection with somebody that you want to protect, like you can see through all these different things you couldn't see before. But then when it comes to the things that threaten the child, or your need or your desire to protect them or that person, you know, then you're just like, okay, well, how much freedom is too much freedom? Like, where's the leniency? Where's that line? You know, things become a little unclear. So it's almost this paradox of sorts. And I think it's the first time she's felt like this since she was like a kid, and kind of like taking her back. And I think that's why she's so much more rooted and in the moment. And then through this shared mission, we see the sisters coming back together, reconnecting, and even asking what each other thinks, you know, almost becoming a family again. They were right on the precipice of even getting their father back, whose loss sent them careening down different paths. And again, all of this, literally every decision in this can be traced back to some form of love, you know, and the way we react to it. Oh, it's the heartbreaking aspect of this, man. You know, and Viktor was down here doing everything that he could to try to make this place better. However, Jayce has come in here. God, man, it's just hard to talk about this because I feel like my mind, every time I have a new thought, I'm just jumping around to a different point in the episode. So I don't know how coherent this conversation's going to be, because this is a mess. It's a mess, and my mind is still kind of chaotic, and there's not really like a through line that's consistent right now, because we still don't know what Jayce saw, what happened to him on the other side, what led him back here to eradicate Viktor, to cease what they were doing, what made him so afraid. I need some answers from that side of this story at this point, because like he's even like seen these people that Viktor has passed on this piece of the hex core to, through his healing, through this hive connection that they've garnered. And he sees them as these like blackish, purplish, distorted beings. It just raises so many questions, because Viktor seemingly, again, like with this transcendence, I don't know who to believe, because he's using it all for good. Everything that he was doing here, healing these people, building this place, making it so that plant life can even grow down here. They have crops, they have food that they can make for themselves. But he sees it as this thing that he needs to destroy, and that he needs to take Viktor out. And then Viktor, like, is the entire way, like everything he's saying, everything we're witnessing him do, like both inside his mind and out, because we don't have to assume what he thinks. We got to be with him. And that doesn't mean that he's right or that's an absolute, but that is his interpretation of what he's doing. So I don't know. Maybe there's going to be some revelation. Maybe there's some missing cog that Viktor didn't know about what he was doing. And that's what we've seen up until this point with them testing and flirting with the arcane. There's a give and take with it. It's almost like an equilibrium. However good you receive, some bad has to happen somewhere else. It's almost like the law of equivalent exchange, right? You know, energy does not disappear, it just changes form. Maybe there's some side of this that where while all we see and all Viktor knows is the good he can do with this power, maybe there's something bad happening elsewhere. Like what if, okay, again, coming back to wherever Jayce went, knowing that there is a multiverse or layers of a multiverse, or multiple or even realms and planes of existence in the League of Legends universe, what if whatever good he's doing here is taking from somewhere else? He can only see the effects of what's happening here, but the arcane is what connects and threads all these things. I don't know. I'm just trying to put this together and figure out what the missing piece is. Another thing I'm trying to piece together too is why Viktor, from within his, whatever you want to call that, arcane space, because that space looks very similar to that little split-second glimpse we get of the mage from Jayce's introduction in season 1. You know, when he's, you know, catapulted out of the snow and he goes into this like galactic celestial kind of in-between as this entity holds out its hand, much like we see a lot of that similar imagery here with Viktor. You know, we kind of weave in of that, and then we go, and then it flashes into this earth, and then it flashes into an eye, and then Jayce is somewhere else. Maybe whatever happened to him back then is something similar to what happened to him now. And I don't know if that's going to be relevant. That would be really interesting if that came full circle. Again, I know people are sick of hearing about it, but if it is a multiversal thing, you know, when there is that moment too where Viktor was like, that's not Jayce. I heard something else coming through the portal, and there's something else working through him. One, we don't know what happened to Jayce at all. But what if that's not even Jayce? I just need answers from that side of the coin, man. I just need to understand. Like, it's just hard to wrestle with it because we don't know enough. Obviously, you know, we've been kind of conditioned to fear the arcane and all this sort of stuff, what it comes from, you know, his journey with Heimerdinger and Ekko, discovering that all of their calling towards that plane where that energy resides causes these kind of rebounds. Maybe there's something happening with Viktor being like this embodiment of that. There's some larger threat that will come from that eventuality. But the interesting thing too that I find really odd is that, you know, we're seeing like glimpses of these Hextech gemstones losing their power, or flickering. Something's interfering with it, or they're just losing their potency. Singed made this comment too about Viktor having finite power. Is that also linked to that? And what if it's not even like dimension hopping or anything like that? What if it's, and again, another concept I'm sure a lot of people are tired of people flirting around with, but what if it is time travel? What if it's like somehow the present physically links back to Jayce's origin, kind of creating a loop? Or maybe there's a loop somewhere else, because I mean, that's also evident in this episode if we consider the opening of this episode in the end. But that's a motif we see all the time in media, you know, it doesn't necessarily associate it directly with time travel or anything like that, but it's just something that kind of popped in my mind trying to piece together all of this. Because again, I know there's been a time skip of an undisclosed number of months, whatever, weeks, I don't know, since they disappeared and Ambessa and Caitlyn took power. You know, he is looking a little ragged and tattered, and what if he came back and he saw a future? What if he went to a future that he saw that is the result of Viktor's actions here, and now he's back trying to stop it? And I'm sorry I'm so fixated on this, but I gotta understand it, because this bullshit broke this family apart. That happy ending we had with that family all together, Jinx, Vi, Vander, Isha included, is completely destroyed because Jayce interfered while Viktor was doing his due on Vander's mind, you know? So it better fucking be worth it. I mean, who knows? Again, we don't know enough. There's a good chance maybe whatever he's done to these people, and maybe he doesn't even know that this is the case. Again, because we've been in his head. We've been there as the audience. So I believe he believes he's doing good and that this is good, and he doesn't want to bring any malice into the world. But we also don't know what Jayce knows. So there is a possibility that whatever he did do, even if it brought Vander back, maybe there's something ill that could come from that. Again, they do become part of his hive, and once we see that he's cut off, they just wail into the sky and shrivel up and contort and whatever. So that's kind of sketchy when you're looking at it like that. So I just don't know, because the way it plays from Viktor's point of view and our audience point of view so far, we were on the precipice of something great. But again, we don't know enough. You know, I could spitball theories down my ass all day long, but I feel like it's not going to get us anywhere at all, man. Anyway, all that aside, he got blasted by Jayce while he was in the middle of working on Vander, which resulted in God, and just I just knew, I felt it in my bones, but like part of me was hoping against hope, and some foolish part of my mind was making me think that maybe we might get Vander back in the end, just as this creature, this family united in their new current states, just a family who's gone through some tragedies, through some changes, but a family nonetheless. So that even if he may physically be different, maybe they still have him. No. God, they had to lose him all over again. And because of this experimentation, where he died the first time, and Singed used all these techniques, these animal parts, and all this like crooked science to Frankenstein him back to life. All of those pieces that were not originally Vander outnumbered him within that mind. So like when Viktor was entering that scape to see if he was still in there, he was buried behind all of these other voices that were used to chimerically resurrect Vander. He was in there, but so was a lot of other noise, a lot of other life forms that were used to construct this body. Like every beast and creature that he used to further this experiment, like the wolves we saw him, dissect, and whose components he utilized to keep Vander alive. By this point, he was more beast than man, so he had to untangle him. It's almost like he had to delicately unravel these other minds, these other entities that were not him, and disconnect them from him. And if anything went, they could risk losing everything. So in the middle of all of that intricate work being interrupted, all of it was just immediately undone. Whatever he was in the middle of doing, that untangling caused Vander to just catapult away, maybe even being erased completely. I mean, I think that's the implication, is that the man was gone after that. When Jayce did that, any hope of getting Vander back went with Viktor. I mean, obviously, he was the only person with the ability to do that in the first place, but that now, even if you found somebody else with Viktor's abilities, because he even said there are limits to what he can do, and this would be something that would risk his life, even attempting this, or even the life of the life form that he's meddling with. It was risky for all parties involved, as it were. So at this point, with this having happened, I would be shocked if you found another person with Viktor's abilities, if they would even be able to kind of pick up the pieces or pick up where he left off. And even if it wasn't, it seems like Isha, in her sacrifice, took him with her. So not only did Jinx lose her father again, she also lost the anchor she found along the way before she even knew that possibility existed. The one person that helped ground her again. Thankfully and hopefully after this, these sisters will be there for each other this time around. So there's hope, at least, because we got to see the unlikely trio here at the end all working together. Caitlyn, Vi, Jinx, for a common goal. And I got to give it to Caitlyn for learning the truth when Vi told her outright what was going on, for backing her up in this play. I gotta give Caitlyn massive credit for that, man. She took a big old leap, and I think that just really shows how much trust she truly does have in Vi. It just breaks my heart that things went the way they did, which makes me now, in hindsight, make me wonder if, like Vi has done in the past, is the only reason she ended up with Maddie in the end is probably because Vi, after everything that transpired, she probably is the one that stayed away. Obviously, she wasn't happy with the changes in Caitlyn's behaviors in the previous episodes, but like Vi did with Powder, like Vi did in many other instances, she pulled away. It's kind of what she does when she's traumatized. She needs to isolate and recoup, and she turns everything inward. So I do feel like in hindsight, it was probably a little more harsh on Caitlyn post Jinx incident. In the Jinx incident, all that still stands, but everything that happened in the interim, because there was a lot of assumptions that we had to make because of the time skip. Our reintroduction to Caitlyn and her waking up with Maddie in her bed was not a good look for us, the viewer, after we had left things off. I guess I did get a little too quick to judge Because especially in this episode, I think it's pretty apparent that, she never stopped caring, and that the Maddie situation was just her trying to fill that hole that, going back to the conversation between her and Vi, talking about losing of people you care about and how that loss never completely goes away. It just gets smaller over time, but you never quite fill it. That was her trying to fill it. And I guess that's kind of evident too, because I just thought it was her being focused on her goal, on what was going on, her duties or whatever, when we had that one moment with them in bed, and she was kind of a little cold. So it was probably that her heart really wasn't in it. Looking back, it just changes everything. I owe Caitlyn a massive apology. After that, again, my criticisms stand when they confronted Jinx in the tunnels. That still stands, but everything after that, though, I apologize. Because like I said too, after that time skip, she did seem to level back out. She was concerned about Ambessa's aggressiveness with the Undercity. She was concerned about what was going on. She wasn't foaming at the mouth to chase after Jinx. She just needed some time to, like Vi said, let that hole get a little bit smaller. Everything was still too fresh in Act 1. Because, the second they bumped into each other, and especially when she hit her with that cupcake, her eyes fucking glittered. She lit up. She was ready to go. And the fact that after everything Ambessa's done for her over this point, trying to develop her and help her get stronger, trying to mold her into her image almost, didn't quite work. Caitlyn was still in there. And I love that even through all of that, in each of these episodes, every time they were in a room together, Caitlyn was always pushing back in her own way against what Ambessa was trying to impart. So I like that. She never buckled. She just took all of those lessons and added it to her repertoire, and that ended up biting Ambessa in the ass, and I loved it. Though Vi still did not, let her in on the full plan. She didn't tell her about Jinx, which is interesting too, because once that reveal happened and Jinx showed up and saved Caitlyn, helped in that moment too, everything got real complicated, especially too once she realized that family unit was still together. She looked up and it was Jinx embracing Vander, and then Vi comes in, looks over at Caitlyn, and then runs to her father and her sister and her niece. It's just it was just a beautiful moment, and I just think that kind of reframed some things in her mind, especially the fact that Jinx just saved her. And then when shit started to hit the fan, Caitlyn was right behind Jinx. If she wanted to get revenge or anything of the sort, she could have just done it right then and there. Popped her right in the back of the skull, but that wasn't something she wanted to do in that moment, which is lovely to see. She had every opportunity in that moment because Jinx's focus was not on her whatsoever. So, I don't know. I just liked all those little moments, man. But my God, the Isha thing, I still don't even know how to, compile that in my head. It's just beyond fucked up. If these sisters, they just need a fucking break, man. Can we stop torturing them, please? Can we please? I guess we will when the show ends, when their story ends. But can we ease it up a little bit? Because, God, that was just evil, dangling this hope in front of them like that. And on top of that, they threw this kid in there, this cute little kid and became Jinx's little sidekick throughout all of this, her own little sister. It's one thing to be the little sister yourself, but then to have one and then feel responsible, feel that connection, understand a little bit more, because that allowed her to connect, I think even empathize a little bit more with her sister, with Vi, understanding a lot more of what was going through her head as the older sibling. And now she kind of, I don't know, it's again, with the Silco thing, with the Vander thing, this passing down of responsibility. It's this through line that keeps connecting. And I'm just so upset that they did this to Jinx after everything she's fucking been through, man. She lost her father again. She lost this child. I don't know if she's going to be able to come back from this, which is why I'm hoping the sisters stick together, because I think if Vi is there, there's at least some glimmer of hope that she won't be lost completely. because I don't know if I could take losing Vander again, as well as Isha, just to lose Jinx back to that pit she worked so hard to crawl out of. And all of the growth that these sisters had here, this promise of this community, the fact that they were even talking about working together here, together in this community, that is conveniently enough right where their childhood home was. Same place back in season 1 where they knocked it down to get away from Silco and his little posse of addicts that are now the very same members of this commune who unfortunately seem to be turning into husk zombies. I don't know. But it's fucking, there's hope, but this show it just hurts you. So I don't know. I don't expect a happy ending with this show. At the very least, likely bittersweet at best. So who fucking knows? I'm just so worried for Jinx. Her arc this season has been so fascinating, and it's really been the through line of hope throughout all of this. And I'm so scared of them, like with Vander, dangling it in front of us and then tossing it into the river. I don't know, dude. I'm so nervous about the next act. And we still don't have any fucking clue where Heimerdinger and Ekko are. Jayce is the only one that came back. I mean, that's a little sus, to be fair, thinking back on it, especially now reflecting again on that's not Jayce comment, because I feel like Jayce would have came back with Heimerdinger and Ekko. Oh, God. God damn it. Anyway, getting sucked back into that vortex, that whirlpool of thought. Yeah, her committing to that bit, bringing in Vi to Ambessa, keeping up that look, that guise, and then leading her straight to who she knew would be a problem and impede what they were trying to do here. Brought Vi in, made sure her cuffs were loose enough for her to get free, gave her that cartridge from her gun, and sent her in, locked and loaded, ready to go, while she went to go impede Singed and what he was trying to do. Because again, Singed is just like any hope I had, or any thought I had rather, about him doing anything that he was doing with Vander for Vander's sake is gone. Because it could have been like twofold. It could have been like, yes, I chose Vander for this experiment because I feel bad. This is a respected man. Maybe I can give him a second life, and maybe this experiment also can benefit my ends. No, it was solely for that, because he could care less if Vander survives all of this or is even in there at all. He was willing to even shut out that humanity completely for what he needed to do. This is all just a means to an end, which we knew. But again, I was hoping that maybe there was some also like quid pro quo exchange in there as well. I don't know. Whatever. I look for the good in too many people sometimes, man. I guess. Considering that on one point they used to be on the kind of a similar page, between Singed and him, when Singed did go to him to try to like converse, come to an agreement or an understanding, that Viktor at least was able to shut him down, that he's not on the same page as him as anymore. I think that just, again, it just lends some credence to the allegory that they've been setting up here that was, again, not subtle at all, especially with the following that he's gotten, with him being this herald, with him being this healer, and the way that he's approaching everything here. And then his Judas, his Jayce coming in here and taking him out like that, man. And all of this fell apart. Not because of Ambessa. Everything was going according to plan. It was Jayce. Jayce was the variable that no one was aware of that fucked all of this up. It's Jayce that resulted in them losing their father, and subsequently, following that domino trail, losing Isha as well. If he just had waited like a little bit longer, like I don't know how much longer they needed, but just waited a little bit longer, it would have been fine, man. Just horrible timing. That is an understatement. I'm surprised Viktor died, though. I mean, I'm not, based on the way the story was going. Ambessa and her people, she finally showed up, but her means for I mean, doing anything that she was doing is completely gone now. You know, this thing was her last best hope. Like, she couldn't figure out Hex Tech. She couldn't figure out how to make those gemstone weapons work. She couldn't figure any of that out without the main people behind it. And this little creature was the next step in that. And, you know, even Singed, like, Viktor's body and his power was his hope for curing his daughter. The apex of the arcane or Hex Tech and the apex of whatever the fuck he's created here. He said those two things would suffice, or he theorized as such. All that was just blown away by Isha. Like, what's our threat after this? I mean, obviously Ambessa is still here. So are her forces. Does it leave us dealing with the fallout? Because now she's got no way to fight the Black Rose. Now does that leave us with Mel being the next step, the next cog in this? You know, now she's got nothing to work with here. Jayce is back. He's eliminated the threat that he's seen, but we also don't know that he's not a threat now either. I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know where we go from here. I don't know what Act 3 looks like. I don't know how we close all of this out, at least this story, you know? I have no fucking clue. So yeah, like what are we fighting next, you know? Is it going to be Jayce? Is it going to be the Black Rose? Are they going to finally arrive, show their hand here in Piltover now that Ambessa is powerless to really do anything against them? And they're also just tearing at each other up with this internal dissent, with Caitlyn betraying her and everything like that as well. Like, the person she put in charge of the city, you know, if Caitlyn shows resistance to her and her forces, that means the city would more than likely rally behind her as well. And what does that even mean if she's seen working with Jinx in that? Can them working together through Vi in this trinity here allow them to unite the city, completely unraveling the plan orchestrated here by Ambessa? I mean, that might be really fucking hopeful, but the revolution really kind of got sidebarred here after all of this, because it's just kind of became a little secondary to Ambessa's aims and what Jinx was actually trying to accomplish here. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just gonna cut myself off. I'm rambling. Guys, what did you think? How do you feel? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Hope you enjoyed the reaction. If it did, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you're not already. Remember, if you want to see the full length reaction, as always, you can check it out over on Patreon, or if you become a member of the channel, it gets you access as well. And speaking of before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends, Manny Sherry, York Korskov, Robert Anguiano, Jeffrey L, Jake Cottrell, Eric Official, Casey Wood, Russell Crockett, and Watchtower. Thank you guys so much for continued support. With that, for this video, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care, everybody.